Ronaldo versus Messi is cancelled. Zidane could face the sack, Ozil left out in the cold, a transfer roundup, plus Friday feels all coming up on today's OneFootball Daily News. As I'm your host Angelina Kelly, let's get into it. First up, and Cristiano Ronaldo, he will not be competing in Juventus' Champions League clash against Barcelona next week due to a new positive coronavirus test. Now, his first test was obviously when he was on international duty with Portugal, but this new positive test means that he does not meet UEFA's deadline, which is that you have to have a negative test 1 week prior to a game. So it looks like we are not going to see that Messi-Ronaldo showdown that we have all been dying to see. There has been so much hype over Ronaldo and Messi locking horns again after all those years of El Clasicos where we watched the two do battle. However, of course, health and well-being comes first. Now, they will face each other on December 8th, so it's not too long for us to wait, and apparently 5,000 spectators could be allowed into the new camp to watch the game. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the current situation, but one thing's for sure, those 5,000 spectators are going to be very lucky indeed. Next up, and Zinedine Zidane, this weekend could be the most vital in his coaching career yet, as doubts are growing over his future as Real Madrid's coach. Now, prior to their loss against Shakhtar Donetsk, it has not been plain sailing for Real Madrid. Their opening game of La Liga, they drew 0-0, then they've managed to scrape through a couple of wins, then of course they lost 1-0 to Cadiz. Now, the Real Madrid bosses were not too worried at the time. They still had faith in Zidane after the Cadiz loss, and they said, you know what, it's a little bit of a mistake, it'll be absolutely fine. And Florentino Perez still had faith in the manager. Now, after the Shakhtar loss, Perez apparently still does have faith, but it's looking like some of the other bosses are not so certain, and they are getting a little bit concerned over Zidane and his abilities coaching Real Madrid. There are questions being raised over the Frenchman. So what should he do? Of course, he's just got to play El Clasico, beat Barcelona, it'll be absolutely fine. Yeah, like that is the easiest job in the world. As we've seen before, the El Clasico is no easy game. Since the departure of Cristiano Ronaldo, Real Madrid have actually failed to make it past the last 16 of the Champions League for 2 years in a row, and this is not good. The Real Madrid bosses will certainly not be happy. Now, Zidane can obviously argue the fact that he has actually won, in the short space of time he's been a manager at Real Madrid, 11 trophies, including 3 back-to-back Champions Leagues. I mean, if any manager's got that, you'd think his job would pretty much be secure. However, this, of course, is Real Madrid. They don't focus on the past, they focus on the present, and if Zidane's not doing the job right now, then they're certainly going to find somebody else who can. And already, because it's Real Madrid, of course, they have got some replacements waiting in the wings. And these 2 replacements are potentially former Spurs boss Mauricio Pochettino and Real Madrid reserve coach and legend Raul. What this does mean is that the pressure is certainly on for Zinedine Zidane, and suddenly this El Clasico just became a lot more important than it already was. Next up, it's been a tough week for Mesut Ozil. Well, I say tough week, he is still on £350,000 a week, so maybe not that tough. The 32-year-old has not played since March for the Gunners, and the club seemingly want to force him out, and with no settlement actually reached, they've cut him from their 25-man Premier League and European squad, meaning that Ozil can only really play for the under-23s. The star, who joined from Real Madrid back in 2013, has released an emotional statement saying that he feels that there is no loyalty from Arsenal, but he wants to keep fighting for his place. Now, I don't really know how much more he can fight. I think they've sent him a pretty clear message. He's not in the Premier League teams, he's not going to be in the European squad. I think it's time to maybe give up hope. But where could Ozil go? There are numerous places that he could go, and first up, it's the MLS. Now, their transfer window normally closes in August, but because of the pandemic, it has been extended to October 29th, and there are rumours that Ozil could be going to DC United. Now, the only issue that I see with this is the wages. I don't think that they're going to be able to pay him as much as he would want, but there are a few other options. The second option could be a lot closer to home, with Portuguese clubs not closing their transfer window until October 25th, or maybe he fancies going over to South America, as the Brazilian leagues do not close their transfer window until November 9th. However, a more financially viable option would be a move to the Middle East. Now, over in Qatar, they would have to move pretty fast for Ozil, as their transfer window, like Portugal, closes on October 25th. But if you're thinking money-wise, I think this is probably the best option for him. It is sad to see what's happened with Ozil and Arsenal. However, unfortunately, these things do happen in football, and it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. Next up, it is a transfer roundup where we take a look at some of the other news and transfers going on in the footballing world. First up, Arsenal have taken the son of legend Dennis Bergkamp, and he has been training with the under-23s. Derby County manager Philip Cocu could be given his marching orders, with Wayne Rooney rumoured to replace him. Darren Fletcher has made a return to Manchester United to help out with training the under-16 squad. And finally, former Barcelona manager Quique Setien could have a new job over in Brazil with Palmeiras. And last but by no means least, it is Friday Feels. This is where you guys leave your footballing predictions in the comment section below, and some of the correct ones will be read out on Monday. Now for me, I'm obviously going to go with the Manchester United-Chelsea game. This is going to be a tough one, but I'm thinking Manchester United will have the momentum from the PSG game to get a win, so I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory for the Reds. Next up, El Clasico, and there is so much riding on this game. On one hand, you've got Barcelona that haven't done that well in the league, but did get a win in the Champions League. Then you've got Real Madrid, who are doing all right in the league, but not so good in the Champions League. It's all going on. And with Zidane's job potentially riding on this, it is certainly going to be an exciting game, but I feel like we're going to be let down a little bit. In my head, I was thinking maybe like a 3-0 or something to one of the teams, but I think that we are going to end up with a 2-2 draw. And finally, AC Milan against Roma. Milan obviously got the win against Inter last weekend, so I'm going to go with a 3-0 victory for them. So that's everything for today's Daily News. Make sure you guys let me know in the comment section below what you thought about today's Daily News and what your Friday feels are. Whilst you're there, make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribing, and check out all the other content that we have got going on here at OneFootball by clicking here or here. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon.